Hi, this is Madalina, and I have a message for you. In order to love who you are, you cannot hate the experience that shaped you. Use your experiences to build because everything you build builds you, woman with infinite mindset. See you soon in our great empowering community. Hello, dear women with infinite mindset, and thank you for joining me to a great conversation with my guest today, Corinne Dumont, who is from Belgium, Brussel. And as a few words, because she will present herself, I just want to read from her testimonials. Corinne is a businesswoman. She worked in corporation. She became an entrepreneur and a spiritual woman. We have a lot of things in common, as you will see from our conversation. And according to her testimonials, she's an outstanding mentor, an amazing leadership, excellent thinking out of the box. She's a successful female role model in the business sector and a real expert in entrepreneurship. She helped me develop new skills such as financial intelligence. She brings out the best version of myself. Her mentoring program is life-changing. Another testimonial is saying, Corinne is a great mentor. She helped me taking new perspective on what I'm living as a professional to make the difference between what is good for me and what is good for the company I'm leading. On the top of that, she's very positive and fun, which are great values and qualities in the same time. So thank you for being here. So grateful for doing this. I hope you will feel the same like me. Follow our conversation here. So let's jump on the other side. Hello,
Yes.
Corinne. And thank you.
Hello, Madalina.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to podcast Women with Infinite Mindset.
Yes, with pleasure.
Of course, in my perspective and my perception, you are a woman with infinite mindset. And
oh my God. Yes.
And because of this, I wanted to have you as my guest. I'm so happy that I met you in this community, EMF.
Me too. Yes.
And we discovered so many, I would say, common values. But
common values, exactly. Common grounds. Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. I would say like that. Beautiful souls recognize beautiful souls. So
nicely put.
Yes.
It's nicely said.
So please, first, for our listeners, tell us few words about you, something that I don't know, your story, your mission, your background. Why not? How you feel to do it?
Yes, that's fine. Interesting. My mission, I would say today, is I changed this recently, even on my LinkedIn profile, because I had empowering women to be financially sustainable. Now I changed it because it's resonated better. It's standing for women to be sustainably to be financially sustainable.
Okay.
I have had this thread. I have had this thread for my whole life, basically. Maybe it's a kind of conditioning. I don't know. I have a finance background. I worked for a number of years in a corporate finance setting in an American bank, actually. And afterwards, after many years, I lost kind of the purpose of all of this, and I want to do something more concrete. So I shifted to being an entrepreneur. And I opened with my partners. I opened a organic food retail store chain that we grew and we sold to investors, to financial investors.
So
actually,
you scaled up so much the business that
yes,
finally the business has added value by itself.
yes. But okay, this is actually another story. But this entrepreneurial journey was very interesting, because I think that that this was really what woke me up somehow, in terms of spirituality, I mean. And apart from that, I have two kids who are now 24 and 27.
So you are a
boy
mom, and
and
you
a
know
daughter.
the role of the mom. So
Exactly, yeah. Oh yes.
a
Yes.
mom being also an entrepreneur.
Yes, totally. And I've always, let my professional life with my family life. Okay, I ended up in a divorce with the father of my kids, but okay, that's
Another big experience.
another big experience.
Yes,
Totally.
and there is not something rare in the, let's say, in the world of the women entrepreneurs. This is
That's
like
what
let's say the threat or the challenge, how to balance work life. And even you had the role, of course, of mother, entrepreneur, family, but you also let's say felt the energy of divorce, which I was saying that many of women entrepreneur are passing through, because at some point when they take their power back by being entrepreneurs, they don't feel that belong anymore in the family. But in the same time, until that point, they don't bring the energy in the family anymore, because their energy and focus is in the business.
That's right. Yes, it's certainly true in my case that for some reason, I was really much focusing on the business. And by the way, at the beginning, when I met my husband, we were working in the same company. So I was, so to speak, in the same script as he was. But when I switched to being an entrepreneur, it was becoming my own script, so to speak. And that created some tensions, because I was no longer in his mind somehow, aligned, so to speak, with what with his model his model of the world. Anyway, so yes, but it's very true that when I had my own business, I was focusing a lot of time on this. I found it quite fulfilling, and at some point I could even be obsessed by I have to do this and that.
By action, I would say, by action.
By a lot of action, but I must say I had also a lot of thinking at the time. I still have a lot of thinking, and thinking sometimes prevents action, I would say. Overthinking.
Yes.
But I think we are going to come back on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, after all your experience, if you want to add something else, other roles, because I interrupted you, but
yeah, apart from that, in who I am, what has been quite instrumental in my life too is that I've been doing a lot of sports competition.
Also masculine.
And
Competition is masculine.
yes, yes, I was very much into masculine kind of energy. And more recently, but we are going to touch on that afterwards. I actually I'm now very much into a journey with horses. And by the way, horses are said to be more in the feminine energy. I don't know, but it's very different than what I've been doing in the past, because it's very much based on feeling and the relationship and communication, which is not the case with the other sports. It's not at all the same feeling.
Let's say it's a kind of you need to be how should I say, blended, you and the horse, in
Yes,
order to
yes,
be in the same
in fact,
energy.
the same energy. Yes, totally. We have to be in phase energy wise, and so it's a two-way communication all the time, in the present moment, not in some time of fancy stuff in the future or in the past. It's always in the present moment, and in fact, the present moment is very important, because also horse riding, and I'm riding horses as well, is something which can be physically dangerous. So you have to be present and grounded. Otherwise, if you are just like, oh, you could fall.
You know, I have because we are talking about presence, and we will come back to our discussion, but I feel to say it that it's it for more and more people, it's not easy to be present.
It's very
And
difficult.
yes, and it's very easy to understand how important it is to focus on the presence. If you use your fingers to do an exercise, for example, to have them like that, one it's close with your focus and one it's ahead. If you focus on your first finger, you see here very clear the present, and you don't distinguish the others. But if you focus on the other finger ahead, you don't see the present. And in sometimes also being present affects our eyes. Just, you know, how we see the world. If we
Yes, totally. Yeah.
and
It changes your perspective. It really changed the way you see it.
yes. So having this all background, finance, corporation, entrepreneurship, and then spiritual woman and nature woman, I would say, grounded through horses. Now, if you would have to give some kind of not definition, is too much to be said. What is business about actually for a woman? Why a woman is entering into business? For example, why you passed from corporation to entrepreneurship?
I think it's an interesting question. I know why. I remember why I did that at the time, because I thought that when I moved to entrepreneurship, I was like 43 or 45 years old. And I was seeing all the time around me in the corporate banking world that people age of 50 or more were being put on the side. So I said, I don't want this. I don't want this to happen. So I don't want. So, and I was sensing that everything I was doing there was fake. I don't know. It was like I was moving air, moving wind. It was not tangible, not a real creation of a new value. So for these two reasons, I decided to quit because I didn't feel. I had a lot of great time, and I didn't feel fulfilled anymore. So I decided to quit. And frankly, I had no idea that I would start as an entrepreneur, but I always had an entrepreneur spirit, even in that corporate world, because I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I was an intrapreneur. But of course, I had my salary coming in.
So what would be the values? You know, because also for the managers in corporation, to managers, they are asked to have this spirit of initiative, creativity, action.
Yes.
So if you would have to, let's say, underline three values of the, I would say, I think better said, entrepreneurship values, also valued in corporation.
Yes, but I would say, to me, it's a freedom to act in a certain way, in a certain space.
Freedom.
It's you are free and autonomous, and you are an empowered being that can create your own stuff, even within a corporation. I had that space to do, really the deals I wanted to do.
Yes. Managers do have this, and they are expected to be like that, to act like that.
Yes. Of course, some of my values have shifted since then, but one of them was performance at the time. Performance, achieve results. That was I was very much driven by that because I am a competitor. Also in spirit, it's learned competition, but I love challenges. So I love new stuff. So I'm a kind of an adventurer, even though I was afraid as well. So
freedom,
it's a kind
performance, and
yes, and the last one was really, I mean, not in that order necessarily, but relationships. It's a relationship with me, relationship with others, interactions. It's, yeah, I wouldn't call it love then, but it was really interacting with others, learn from others. Together, we contribute together. So that I was very much driven by these three values.
Actually,
I could not be.
Yes.
Yeah, I could not be authentic.
This is one big value that you had, that you wanted your authenticity, but you couldn't bring it on the table in front of everybody.
No. So I had to conform somehow.
Yes.
But still, I had a space. Where I could play. I could play freely, more or less.
Yes, actually, I agree so much with you. And as I said, and of course, we identify together, we had this common background, because also I'm coming from finance. I'm coming from a corporation. I was CFO of a large company with over 500 million euro turnover and 1 million customers. So I know this background, and then I also turned on entrepreneurship. But the entrepreneurship was a journey and still is. And, it's really beautiful what we have again in common, that also the authenticity and the really adding value was also
Yes.
felt to me. And coming to this, um, and I saw this is a more like a pattern that I saw. Also, companies put on their website values and principles.
Uh-huh.
But because it's like a marketing fashion or something like that, marketing image.
Yes. Yes.
Well, the problem I think really comes up when the company actually inside the company, in reality of the company, among the people, actually the values are not respected. So are just some nice things written on website, in the catalog of the company, in the annual report, and that's it. When it comes up to really applying and living after the principle and values declared,
there is a mismatch, a huge mismatch. Yes, and in fact, yes, I had noticed that obviously in my journey, and it's a journey, indeed. You have the so-called value that are just outspoken. This is really outspoken with the mind, with the brain, with the logical mind, I would say. While when to me this is coming all to the spiritual, what is spiritual practice? It's a practice. Entrepreneurship to me is a practice because it's acting on the field, so to speak. It's be confronted to reality, because when you work in a big corporation like that, all these strategies that are thought about,
exactly,
they
at
are
the top
all
management,
in the
but
head.
what happens down?
Yes. Follow my script, always the same thing. Follow my script, my model. Okay, employees on the field, they say it's not working. Yeah, you will make it work.
And
so
you know
they
what is
don't
really
listen.
nice? It's really nice. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm totally
fine.
enthusiastic about
Yes.
our discussion. Is that no matter I am in Romania, you are in Belgium.
Correct. Yes.
Actually, yes, very very important Brussel for all Union European directions, and but the the real simple common sense things are really the same.
Yes.
So we are not so much different, because people, sometimes people think, in another country things are different. Maybe a system it's a little bit improved, but how I said, for example, the basic, like values and principles, because how we make the decision in our lives, following our values and principles. For example, if one employee would have a value family and he would be offered a position far from his family, but very well paid, very well, and the family, for example, didn't want to move, let's say they don't want to move with the position. What would do the employee there? If his value, his authentic value, right, his true from the heart value, his family, not declared, just declared, his decision would be, I don't want the position, I want to stay with my family because my first value is family. But people sometimes, declare my value is family, and so on. But when you look in their lives, you see that they spend like 12, 14 hours at work. But and they say my value is family. How come?
Right.
How come? Where is the authenticity here? So first is that we have this idea of authenticity as an institution, as a company, which is a separate energy. We know that in our spiritual
Yes,
world.
yes, yes.
And we have the energy of employees. But coming to spiritual, what means to be a spiritual woman in business? This is in nowadays.
Yes, and again, this is I think maybe for different persons it may mean different things, in fact. But for me, when I became an entrepreneur, I realized, oh wow, my business and everything around me is actually my mirror.
Wow.
Yes, and I
So
realized
true.
that because yeah, and to me, spirituality is about realizing that the world around us is just a mirror of what we project. So probably I was already quite in tune with my inner being before I moved to entrepreneurship. But somehow I didn't had made that link between my inner journey and my inner limits and the so-called blockages that I was encountering in my business. So each time I said, oh my God, when we have turnover issues with the employee, what if I was somehow I had a responsibility in that? How could I do better? And so I started reflecting all the time that I was seeing something in the outside world. I was better and better reflecting, okay, what is the impact that I feel inside into me? Do I have some resistance? It was always making this link, external, internal, external. And at the time, in the early days of my entrepreneurship journey, I didn't realize that somehow first reflecting inside how I wanted to feel and so on, would influence the way the world would show up, so to speak, outside of me. But of course, it's a two-way street, right? So it's all the time. Externally is actually a feedback for you to grow, to see where you have inner resistance. And because when you have inner resistance, your spirit is actually not free. It means somehow that you label things, you are too much in the head. And so to the spiritual journey in entrepreneurship is being conscious of this inner outer division that we create with our minds. Because when you are from the heart, you don't have that. Everything is fluid. It's open. So and
you don't have to struggle. You don't have to fight. This is masculine
it's
energy,
easy,
right?
Yes, it's easy. When it comes from the heart, everything is easy. It flows. You don't have any resistance. You are open to the world because all the world outside is actually also inside you. This is really as if you see the world outside you with the tainted eyes, so to speak. So it's if it's coming from the heart, you don't have these filters anymore.
So for many, I would say that if you search, business is a way to make profit. This is mental definition, right?
Yes.
But is a way to make profit, but the spiritual definition of business, actually, business is a way through in the journey to grow your spiritual soul, right? For your evolution of your
spiritual
soul.
self. Yeah, to actually when we come from the mind, the brain, or whatever, the logical side of us, the masculine side of us, it's a very focused and narrow view of the world. when we expose ourselves, and what I wanted to say also about spirituality in business is about practice. So you enter into actions, preferably from the heart, but that sometimes it's not easy to say, is it coming from the mind or the heart or whatever, but and the gut feeling,
but
that's
you
another
need to
story.
find
But
out.
you need when you experiment an action, a concrete action, then the world is giving you information, it's feedback, and you can say, okay, this is interesting, I am experimenting this or that, and I can either adjust something in myself because it's not fully aligned with my values, for instance, and so on. Or you say, okay, no, fine, I have felt what it means for me, and it's okay, I don't need to take that on. So it's to me, spirituality is very much anchored, grounded in practice, in daily practice, because there is only the daily practice which is real, which is real. All the rest is fantasy, imagination, ideas, concept, the whole thing. So action, concrete action with our feet on the ground. This is how you test, so to
And
speak.
I would say that as a completion, so practically business is a field of practice for spiritual
Yes.
growth.
Yes.
Because
good definition.
yes,
Yes.
and for the women, this business field, which was more like how should I say, field of game for masculine energy mainly,
Yeah.
until let's say 50-100 years ago, which is why I say business, I say money in principle. And because of this, let's say for 50 years, not 100 years, for 50 years, when women started to be in business, from 0.0011 woman, then 2, 3, 100 and more. But the idea is that for them, this business field of game for growing spiritual was not easy, because women start with lack of self-esteem generally. So mainly if you go in the field without this trust that you will play the game, and the emotions, how you play the game, actually I would say this is the answer to the question, how to grow in spirituality, practicing in business practically. Because for example, you have to, let's say corporation, right? You go to do a presentation, you go without trust and lack of self-confidence. If you will do a mistake or something, and you the masculine, which is still majority, will put you at the wall with comments, critics, and so on, you'll leave the meeting with more lack of self-confidence and so on. So what I mean, low emotions, guilt, I'm not good enough, my place is not here, I can't do this, mainly it's not my game to play, and so on. They become they step back. This is one side of the coin. The other is that women expect kind of perfection from first time when they do something, and they want to be perfect, not to face these critics, not to face judgment of others, not to face, because these are low emotions for them. And I think we know David Hawkins scale of consciousness, with low emotions you cannot grow you cannot grow in spirituality, and including gain more money, and so on. But this is the idea that everybody is seeing what is outside, right? What I see. I went to the meeting, I didn't perform well, I have been critiqued, I'm not good enough. This is it. I don't go back in my past and see where I was critiqued in my childhood. Who told me that I'm not good enough? What voice in my head, from where is coming this voice? Maybe also is from past lives. This is another discussion because
totally from transgenerations, because
exactly.
we carry a lot from
Yes, the
former
epigenetics shows
generations.
very clear.
Yes.
But do people and women especially, because this is for us, the women, do we understand how to use actually all our experiences to build? Because how I say in the podcast, use your experience to build, because all experience builds you. But if you understand the lesson from each experience and you go to the next level of energy actually inside of you. And yes, it is true that commitment starts in the heart, but actually is action with what is happening in reality. Always action, but always is sustained by emotions. We are talking about low emotions. The idea of low emotions and leading from low emotions, I will tell you, for example, that my mentors have been men until some age, right? Because the business field is, first of all, is ruled, as we said, the game is ruled by men. But in the same time, I didn't like the way how women were leading in corporation. And what I want to say by that, I was judging them because I gave the example before. Me as a woman, I do a presentation. I'm not appreciated by men. My lack of self-confidence is down. I don't feel the good emotions to raise my vibration. And with this low energy, I go to my colleagues, I go to my home, and what do I bring from me as a leader for my colleagues? How? Because what is leadership about? Inspire people, right? How can I inspire someone
totally
from low emotions? So what I saw in women, actually, my judgment was like that. Women as leaders are getting so emotional. They are yelling. They don't manage the emotions. So I said, I don't want to be like that. I don't like this kind of being. So I shut it down, practically, the feminine energy, because of what I saw outside of me. Of course, I was also very young, like 25, 30 years old. So I didn't have all the knowledge that I have now and all the experience, practice, spiritual practice, therapies, and so on. So my question is, because, maybe also some women from corporations will listen to us, and they will say, okay, this happens also to me. I do this. I want to be kind. I want to be warm. I want to have a communication in a feminine way. But what it happens that from my low emotions, actually what I bring on the table is not good to see or to hear. So how from where they should start in order, to come back to themselves in feminine energy, not masculine? Because what I have done for myself is that I said feminine is not for me. I like better the masculine way. Normally we should have we should be balanced in yang energy.
Totally.
Masculine,
Totally. We
feminine.
should be balanced. We should be balanced, and men should be balanced as well, and they are
Exactly. Men should,
yes. And they are not. And yeah, I think your question about where should we start, or how should we start? I can, first of all, let me say that I am resonating with you, because I had the same, not because of other women in corporation, but more because of my mother. You know, she went to the roof, so she was emotional. In my head, she was weak. I don't want to be like that.
So really, it's like a really roots.
Yeah, exactly. So, so of course, by doing that, you suppress a big part of you, who you are as a human being. Because let's not think that men don't have emotions. They have emotions too, but they've been used, in my view, so much. They've been used to repress their emotions, because they are in action, and they have to be in the force, because they had to protect the women when we go back ages. And so they repress their emotions. So men too do not even realize, for instance, that they can be afraid, or that they may lack self-esteem as well, somehow. Because it's a mind construct that we have to be courageous, confident, blah, blah, blah. So this has become a kind of identity. But it does not mean that it's what's really happening, inside, consciously. It may be totally unconscious. So this is one thing I wanted to say. So about, our self-esteem, I find what you were saying, how you put it, very interesting. Self-esteem most of the times in business, as you were saying at the beginning, is because business has been constructed or built by men, for men, with their own. And so, in a way, we believe, when we enter into this business world, that we have to behave and conform and be like that too. So we copy, so to speak, we are conditioned to behave, so to speak, because we think that this is the way. And
yes,
so
we
totally neglect ourselves. And the self-esteem, to me, is what I'm discovering every day still. It's self-love, actually. That you can appreciate who you are. Now, you don't have to become someone else. You are who you are. And the only way for me to appreciate who you are is by feeling in the body what the outside world is giving back to you. And yes, it can be tough. I agree. It can be criticizing, judging, blah, 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 blah. But
you
personally,
have to overpass all this to listen to your soul and intuition. And to trust.
And with your heart also, because I somehow believe that it's our minds who create all these images. I have to be like this, like this, like this, like that, like that. As a protection. It's like walls of protections, because when we, I'm intelligent, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a finance person, blah, 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 to all these stories. I'm shy. These are all conditioned identities. It's not who we are really. And it's someone who, as you say, told us that in the past, probably. Or we just copied our mother or grandmother, blah, 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 who are saying some stuff like that. So we say, okay, we are like that as well. But in fact, it's all learned. It's not felt.
Exactly,
somehow.
It's learned. But Corinne, I have one question, because we started with that. You said you left the corporation because you didn't have the space to be authentic.
Totally.
Then feminine leadership, or what we say that leadership is first lead yourself from your authentic self, right? But my question is, now with your experience at this moment, after all the what you live, do you think it is possible to remain authentic in a system like corporation or other kind of systems? Because in business you also you deal with systems, you deal with rules, so it's a really, really big challenge.
Yes,
to
it
really
is.
be authentic.
And in fact, sorry. In fact, when going through the entrepreneurship journey, to a certain point, it was easier for me to be authentic. But at some point, I faced the same issues, the glass ceiling, so to speak, that I was facing in the corporate world. So I reached a kind of perceived limit, because I was dealing with investment funds and so on. Again, male dominated or masculine dominated world.
Exactly.
So I came back. So I was free to move to a certain point, and then poof, I came back to the same issue or challenge.
Yes,
And
because what's
so,
inside of you, this is the idea, right?
yes, totally, because I just faced my own limits again. Yes, I grew in the process, of course, because I had more space to trust my own intuitions in managing the teams and doing certain stuff. Am I crazy? But at least I was following my intuitions. Then facing these limits again, and that was like only a couple of years ago, and I had other life events that really shook me. And I must say, it's only so yes, it is definitely a challenge to deal with the systems.
But it's possible to do it once you heal yourself, right? And
yes,
once you
heal yourself, and when you love yourself more and more, because when you love yourself from the inside, not from the outside, what is the world reflecting to you? Because in fact, you by the way, you were speaking about situations in business where you make a presentation and all the men give you critiques and blah blah, but you could also make a presentation and all the men would say, "Oh, wonderful, I've had that." So still you depend on things of you to grow your self-esteem. So it's not, the idea is to come back to you.
Yes, I agree, because if you don't love yourself enough, you will not believe in the appreciation of the men. Because you will say, they don't really meant it. They don't really feel it.
Yeah, but even so, even if you believe it, even the next minute you will be criticized, you will come back to your other example. So the thing is that, through life experience, I see it like only experience where I learn new things about myself. And the more, strangely enough, the more I experience things which challenge me, instead of saying, "Oh, it's their responsibility, their fault, it's them, it's about them." No, I look into myself.
It's about me.
Yeah, and it's about me, but not, because that's another characteristic of women. It's about me, but not me as being guilty. I'm not guilty. It's about me. When you divorce and so on, it's I had that. It's my fault, blah blah blah. No, there is a difference between my fault, which is not anyone's fault anyway. Actually, not like that. No,
it's an
experience
of learning again.
It's an experience of learning. And do I take responsibility? Do I own, my feelings, and what do I want to do with this? You know, so do I want to feel them and observe what's going on into me, so that the more I observe and I can let go of these kind of identities which are causing the pain, I believe, the more I'm free and the less I will be sensitive to this, you know, flatteries or critiques from the outside world. But you have to feel anyway what's going on, because otherwise you cannot be in relationship. If you say, I don't care about the outside world, this is not an option either. In order to be in relationship, we are, you know, that's what we are doing here also, Madelina. We are intensively, we are in the topic together. I'm not more right than you are right, you know. I don't know more than you know. It's we are, you know, at the same time reflecting on this topic. It's we discovering together, because we pay attention. We are seriously into it, not just like, oh,
So what would be the values of a spiritual woman in business? Because we discussed about the 3 values that you started the entrepreneurship, which were freedom, performance, and relationship.
Yes.
What would be the 3 values of a spiritual woman in business? Because I think, you know, as I said, when you know your values and principles and you are being authentic, you lead yourself, you know, with sincerity. You are really sincere with yourself first and with the others. How much more and more and more? Then clearly values are changing. And when you decide from your values.
Yes. So I would say that today, certainly while one of my value is authenticity, in the sense that,
okay, this is what
yes, I want to be true to myself, so not lie to me, you know. When I experience a situation, okay, I know that
but
true,
you
it's
know
really
that
integrity, you know, it's integrity, but it's integrity. Look to you in consciousness, you know, it's observe what's going on, you know.
Yes, but it's a really hard exercise, because sometimes it's so hard to see the lie from your subconscious, because you say, I'm authentic, I'm true to myself, at least this is consciously. But what really happens if you look really in subconscious, and we know that there are also ways, like kinesiology, like to really test the beliefs and limitations from your subconscious. And there are a lot of ways that show you that actually you are not authentic. Or for example, you expect people to be correct around you, but there is somewhere, some place, some situation, some area of your life that you are not correct with yourself or with the others, but you just can't see it. So because you can't see it, you say, I'm true to myself. I'm expecting everybody to be correct with me, because I am also correct with everybody, but I just can't see it. Verbally, consciously, I'm saying I'm a correct person. I want everyone else to be correct. But still in my life happens that there are some situations that I see people are not correct with me. Practically, what I have to face, and really true authenticity is this situation appeared, this person appeared in my life and is bringing in front of me as a mirror correctness. So
Yes.
the good question, in order to be really authentic, not mentally, but as from heart, as you said, actually is where I'm not really correct. Probably there is a situation, an area, a person that I do not, let's say, even consciously, my principle is correctness or ethical.
Ethical, yes. Yes. In fact, it's very interesting because at the moment I realize I'm judging others
Or
in situations. Because now I have this practice, I say, okay, where am I experiencing situations, for instance, I say this guy is wrong.
yes, okay.
Okay, where do I experience situation where I feel I have to be right? That or you know, that I feel less than, more than. So each time I see something where I have a judgment, and this, of course, is a question of practice. I think,
Clearly
because then
practice.
you're more how you say that, you're more acute or something like that. You're more specific. You're more
Accurate.
You pay
Yes.
attention. Accurate. Yeah. You develop some sense of self criticism, but not in the negative sense.
Yes, in the
It's
introspection kind of way, to find,
totally.
to
Oh, yes,
search.
yes, exactly. So one day, I can have someone in front of me and say, this person is, he knows it all, kind of. Then, fine. Okay, maybe I don't realize I have situations where, but if it comes back like 2 or 3 times in your life, you meet people who are, or situations, that then it's certainly time to ask yourself the question, why did I feel inside? Or let's say we meet together. Right now, I'm creating a show, a kind of absurd show, where I put myself in situations like in auto mockery or something like that. And imagine you say, "Oh, Corinne, this is not. I'm not really resonating with that." And if something is going on inside, I say, "Oh, what is this? I feel this in my body. Where is it in my body? Blah blah blah." And
Yes,
I let myself feel all of that. And
so true.
it can last one day. Huh? It can last one day where I'm depressed because you
Yes,
said this.
I don't feel
But
good about myself. I don't
I
feel.
don't feel good, and I think it's okay. It's okay. You I think because this is life, we have to feel all and see all these things that are coming to our mind. I'm not good enough. Again, I failed. Blah blah blah. All these blah blah blah. These stories.
Yes, and what I
Let's
want to,
see them. Yeah.
yes, Corinne, and when we don't see them, the for women that are in the role of mother of small children,
Yes.
children are speaking from God to them
Yes.
with words. This is happening
Yes.
to me. My son now is 4 years and a half, and he really, really, when I don't understand something, I don't see it. As I said, because also my value is being authentic, and I want to be authentic, as I said, first with myself. But sometimes
Yes.
I don't see what I don't see.
Of course. Of course.
And
Of course.
and but I want to see, and I have these intentions. And when I really don't understand, then my son is coming and is helping me with stories, with messages, with including singing
Behaviors.
something
Yeah.
that it's a message for me. So about being a present, as you said, because you started with that. It's so important, because a mom of a small year child, if she's present and she can't figure out how to do things, how to find herself, how to feel, how to find what she needs to evolve and get to the next level, she has the greatest teachers if she has
Yes.
this
Totally,
small.
totally. Yes, our kids, my kids also have been, especially my daughter, she has been my greatest teacher, because they challenge you into totally unknown situation to us, and you know that does not correspond to the model we had learned from the past. So you
Mhm.
have to figure out, but it is a great resource, by the way, for women, because when we have to deal with our kids, and also say, okay, in a different process, okay, what do I learn from this little being, a wonderful being?
Yes.
It's yeah, I mean, we develop resourcefulness ability, which is, I think, huge. And we have to see it, that we develop this skill. It's a huge skill that women have, because we have to interact every day in the family, at school, with the teachers, with the kids. And it's so much this human interaction skill.
Relationships.
A relationship is
And more
very well
ground, and
developed
I would say, Corinne, more ground to play,
in reality. Yes, 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 yes. And so this is quite important. So
So this is first
what
value,
we yeah,
authenticity.
yes, yes, yes. And authenticity means seeing in yourself what's going on, and then also, I would say today, to me, the very important value is love, because it's self-love. Self-love, again, when I'm not authentic and something is being sent from the outside, which is probably going to challenge my image that I've identified with, and if I'm saying, no, I'm not good enough, this is not self-love. So how can you, this is an opportunity for you to love you more. And so when you love yourself more, you can love probably other people more as well, without this idea of the attachment. I
I
need
think
this
it's
person.
really a really big confusion
Mm-hmm.
between love and attachment.
Yes, me too.
And and usually people say, but I do know how to love, or I do love. But if you don't love yourself, the question is, do you have love to give to others?
Yeah. Yes. And this reminds me of a situation where I had met someone who, unfortunately for him, he had lost his wife, and it was a big love story for them, blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it was very clear to me that he did not know, not that I knew better, but he did not know what love really was, because he wanted, somehow he projected his wife image onto me, like I would be replacing an attachment. It's a bit cruel to say that somehow, but this is something I
But you
felt
know
I
that
could.
if we are talking about this, there is also the wounds. We are coming
Yes,
into this life with some wounds that
yes, yes,
actually um are are the ones that, um how should I say, from the wounds two people get close. when we have the same wound.
Attracted. Yeah,
Yes.
there is an
Okay.
attraction.
Attraction. There is
Yes.
an attraction when we have the same wounds to heal.
Yes,
So
that's true.
that's why we make the projection, because we want to believe that the other will have the power to heal us, but they actually is not
This
happening.
can never happen.
Yeah,
This,
it's never
in
happening
fact,
because
no,
you have to heal
no.
yourself.
You have to heal yourself. You have to help yourself. Nobody, in fact, I believe that nobody can really help you. Yes, people can show us some ways, but the only ones who have to, you know, the power to feel better is us. It's you know, how much do you commit to that? And sometimes
True.
it's difficult. I agree. Sometimes it's difficult. But so the second value was, I would say, love, but I'm still discovering all kind of attachment. And it's funny because sometimes I let go of some attachment and I find other attachments. Like,
Because the
you know,
energy is still there.
Yes, because like old ones have gone, yes, but I find a replacement. So that's quite funny as well. So you have to make fun of you. It's helping as well, I think. And the I would say the third one is to me is freedom. Will I ever be free, a free spirit? I don't know. I don't know. But it's freedom. It's not in the sense that, oh, I want to do everything I want. No, it's freedom inside, that I
It's
can be
freedom
at
of
peace.
choice more, but choice
Yeah,
from inside. How to speak,
yes, and
where to see, with whom to stay, what to do.
totally. Yeah, yeah. So these are, I would say, more my three
Including
guiding.
choice how to fulfill, including choice how to fulfill my obligations, because you know each role that I choose to play in this game of life
Game.
practically
Yes.
is coming with also rights and positive things, and also obligations. I mean, things
Correct.
to do, to deliver, things like
That's
that.
right. Yes.
Including if I commit myself to evolve spiritually, I have to do some
Yes.
things.
Mm-hmm.
What I would love to ask you once again about being spiritual is that we are talking a lot about being in flow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like flow, like bend with the river, like the river would be your life. What you would say about this? I mean, how is for you when you feel that you are in the flow and when you feel that you got some rocks in the flow?
I am clearly in the flow, and I have experienced that many times in my life. When I feel I am 100% involved in something, but not thinking, being
Present
living
moment
something. Again, present moment. I am just acting. I don't think, oh, if I do this, it will have this impact. I don't mind. I am just involved in what I am being and doing, acting, 100%, and there are no afterthoughts. This gives me energy, and I know that, and I had experienced that in sports, for instance. I have experienced that very recently. I was speaking about this creative show that I put in, actually, a couple of videos on Facebook. I was so much into this creation, because then you have something which is coming from your inside. It's coming from the gut, the heart, the mind. Everything is so aligned. You don't even think about anything. It's really, you are
What would be the feelings when you are in the flow? What you feel and what you think? I think thinking and feeling, but what would be
I
when
don't
you are
think
in the
anything.
flow?
I don't think anything because I don't. Time is not an issue.
So, like the beliefs is I have all the time in the world to do anything
yes,
I want.
there is no time constraint. There is no even the other people. That's right. Even the other, you don't think about what could they think about you. It's like they are there, but they are not there. You are totally into your think. It's very difficult to explain, and you are totally immersed into it. But still, it's very easy. So the feeling is easy.
Easy.
It's very easy. No obstacles. Whew,
Easy
it's
and
really
simple. Okay, right.
easy
Easy,
and simple.
simple, and I would say also joy
Yes, yes, but
and
joy,
gratitude. Easy,
of course,
simple,
when I do this, when I'm in that state, of course, uh, it can be fun, but it's to me, it's more okay. Joy, I've experienced joy in which is different than pleasure. To me, but I
very
have
different.
experienced, yes, joy in sometimes joy can come in out of nowhere, where I'm not,
And from nothing.
from nothing, from nothing. So it's not because I'm in the flow that for me, that I've noticed that I experience joy, but at least I know that I have an inside feeling I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true, it's different than pleasure. But the most striking thing for me is that everything appears possible when you are in this moment. And it's it's a joyful and easy. But at the moment something strikes into your head and you think, oh, what will be the result? What the people will think? But it's over. You're no longer in the flow. It stops.
It's
Like
very interesting that you touched a very, very important point of control, right?
control, totally.
Because you can't be in the flow if you want to control things.
No, no, no.
So,
And
how
you
comes in
cannot be.
business this? Because, you know, in
Uh,
business, you have to plan, to control, to budget, to planify, to organize. Everything is planned, scheduled.
it's fine. It's to me, it's fine in business to have that, but it should be at the service of the flow, not the reverse. Because in business, we have been so used to plan, think, organize, logical stuff, coming from the masculine again,
Exactly.
that it takes the power over this flow and creativity and intuition and feeling that. In fact, it's like any relationship. You cannot enter into a relationship either with yourself or me with you or you with me if
Mhm.
we are in the mode let's plan, organize, have an objective and so on. So we are right now, we are, to me, experimenting a flow because you interrupt me spontaneously. You don't
Exactly.
think, oh, what she will think if I interrupt. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Corinne. Was really good talk. Thank you for our listeners, women with infinite mindset that had the patience and had the curiosity to listen to us until the end. And from my perspective, I'm really sure that there are a lot of good ideas, and at least one idea, if it is taken from this conversation to be applied in each life, we definitely can grow with more ease and in flow. Thank you so much with all my heart.
Thank you so much to you for organizing this, Madelina. I think it's precious work and the world needs it. So
thank you
very
so
nice.
much. I also believe that, and I hope our community of women with infinite mindset will grow.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
to
time.
you, Madelina. And yeah, thank you. Bye. Thank you to everyone.